YouTube, and we live, baby. So if you own Instagram, you want this good old boat and jet ski rental game completely free. I'm not selling anything. I'm not trying to charge you anything. Just bring your ass all over to good old YouTube. I'm waiting on you. All right, come on over to YouTube. Ask what questions you have. Because I'm about to come off of Instagram. Meet me on YouTube. All right. I see y'all starting to fall in. Why you over there? Come over here and keep me warm. Come on and keep me warm. All right. If you on here, all right, you're not gonna be able to hear or see what I'm doing. So if you're trying to ask whatever questions you have about the boat or the jet ski rental industry, come over to the YouTube. Click the first link in my bio, or just go to YouTube and then type in the boat goat, and you're gonna see me over here live. What's up? You been all right? You been funny as hell lately. I'm cooling, baby. I'm making money in the back end. Come on over to YouTube, y'all. Come over to YouTube to ask your boat questions. All right, y'all, let's get it. If you can hear me on YouTube, just type a 1 in the chat. Before you start, just want to say thank you for taking this time out. My pleasure, Brian. I'm glad I can give you some free game tonight. All right. Matter of fact, drop your question that you got already, bro. All right, I see y'all coming in. I'm finally getting my Jesse stuff in order. You'll see me outside soon. That's what's up, bro. Congratulations. Y'all come on over to YouTube. Come on over to YouTube. Come on over to YouTube. I'm about to get off of Instagram, and I'm going over to YouTube. So if you got questions for me, just slide through. Why are you over there? You can come chill over here. All right. Now, see, what I don't like about this here thing is I can't see nobody. But it's cool. Brian, I'm going to give you the floor, bro. What question do you have? Let's put the questions in the chat for me. We got an hour here. I'm not looking to sell you anything. I'm not looking to try to get you to join a course, mentorship, none of that tonight. I'm just giving you nothing but free game. Brian's question is wondering how to spot a good market for Maryland to start my jet ski rental. So as you know, Maryland is a huge city or a huge state. I'm sorry. So therefore, I would really just look at your traffic area. So you got the Baltimore area downtown. You have of course DC, and where else is popping? Ocean City. I would just look for any I would just look into any areas that have the high traffic in that specific market. So if you know that it is a tourist area, then that's where I would set up shop at. All right, John, my pleasure, bro. I've been excited to do this all day long, man, because it's been a minute since I taught. If you on Instagram right now, come on over to YouTube so you can get your questions answered. John, do you have a question for me? And as you write your questions down, I'm gonna just go ahead and kick it into it, right? So a lot of people have the misconception about the whole boat and jet ski rental industry. All right, most people think that it costs a whole lot of money to get into the industry, and it does not. All right, most people, they want to jump straight to the $100,000 boats and up, and that's what you do not have to do. All right, all you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is simply go out and get yourself a pontoon. I don't think I can write on here, and I don't think that I can. I don't. You know, on this one, I'm just gonna do the questions because I don't know how to operate this thing as to where I can write. I know I like to get busy on my whiteboard, but You don't have to have all this money. All right, you literally can go onto YouTube. I'm saying YouTube. You can literally go onto your Facebook Market group. You can go onto um, uh, Google and type in boats for sale near me, and I promise you, you'll find boats as little as $5,000. All right, you do not have to go out and spend all this money on a boat. All right, so get that up out of your head. You don't need this huge mega yacht. And keep it 100 with you. My pontoon boats outperform my bigger boats here in the DC market. In Cancun, my yacht is outperforming a pontoon simply because 9 times out of 10, overseas we have a group of people who came traveling together, and therefore they're looking for a bigger yacht so that they can go out on all together. Versus with the pontoon, we're talking 12 to 16 people on it. A lot of people come through heavy with the overseas play. All right. Let me get to it. What licenses or certifications do I need, and where to get them from? All right. So when it comes down to the certifications and the licensing, that is depending on whatever city or state that you're in. All right. There are a lot of cities that don't even have any laws governing around boat or jet ski rental, simply because you don't really hear about it too much. Most people, they hear about the boat, or when they hear boat rental, they automatically are thinking Miami, right? But that's the misconception about it. All right. Your licenses, you need to, majority of the different states, they have what you call Department of Natural Resources. All right, but if you're in a city that doesn't have it, then you might just have to do what I did, what I had to do, which was go down to the mayor's office and bring this type of business up to the government so that they can legislate different laws governed around boat and jet ski rental companies. So you will have to just do your market research and find out whether or not your specific state or city requires you to have a specific license when it comes to your boat and jet ski rental. All right. Now, with that being said, if you're going to go out here commercially and operate where you're providing the captains and all that good stuff, then of course you will have to go out and get a U.S. Coast Guard certification. All right. Speaking of certifications, on a small scale, you hear 2 licenses. You hear a 6-pack, and that 6-pack just simply means that you're only allowed to take up to 6 paying passengers. All right, now, y'all know the boat go love to try to save some money and get out of not having to pay certain things. All right, so I thought I was being smart by formulating a document that stated that only one person paid to rent my boat out there. And this was when I first got into the industry. It was I didn't have enough time to go and get the license because we were sold out every day, 7 days a week, 4 times a day here in DC. So I didn't have time to go get my license. But I had a document that I put in place that stated that there was only one person that was paying. Now, I never got caught, never got pulled over by the Coast Guard. However, when I went to do my license, I found out that Coast Guard ain't playing that. All right, and I've seen it. I've seen people who've had all of their customers pulled off the boat, and that guy got his ass handed to him. I told you guys about the story about my boy, right? And this is why it's important for you to get your license. Never mind, I'm going off topic. You got your 6-pack, and then you got your master's. All right, your master's license means that you can take more than 6 paying passengers up to whatever your tonnage allows you to. So in the master's group, it goes in increments of 25. So you have a 25 ton, a 50 ton, a 75 ton, and a 100 ton. All right. Again, those licenses just tell you how many people or what tonnage of a vessel that you can operate. All right. Y'all getting what I'm putting down so far? If you get what I'm putting down so far, just put some diamonds, some fire, some something in the comments, because this is a little weird for me. This is my first time going live on YouTube, and it's not like on Instagram where I can just see the different people coming in the room and all that good stuff. So this To keep me going, y'all, I'm trying to get y'all a full hour. That means we got another 45 minutes to go, and I want to give y'all nothing but straight fire. So drop all your questions in the comments. Don't just sit here and listen to me, but also keep me hyped up, keep my energy up by responding to me in the chat and giving me some hypeness so I can keep going. All right, Brian, I hope that, I'm sorry, John, I hope that answered your question. Next question, how much capital should one have to start? That just depends, John. So when it comes down to the capital, it just depends on what you're looking to do. All right, because you have different models within the industry. All right, and what do I mean by that? I mean you have the B2C, that's business to consumer. That means that Shad has a boat, he wants to rent it out to John. John, he already knows how to operate the boat. He don't need no captain. He don't need none of that. It's just like Toro in that aspect, where you just hand over the key and let them go out and do their own thing. Now, with that being said, if you're going to allow other people to take your equipment out by themselves, ensure that you have some sort of system in place to where you're protecting your equipment. All right, meaning in my policies, it states that anyone that's taking a boat out by themselves, they must have a boater safety certificate for more than a year. And the reason why I have it for more than a year is simply because you're allowed to go on to boatus.org and get your boater's license for free right now. Somebody put it in the chat for me, boatus.org. All right, boatus.org. All right, my bad. boatus.org, O-R-G. Appreciate it, Alex. boatus.org. All right, Lewis, the mentorship coming, baby, but I ain't talking about no mentorship right now. All right, I'm trying to give y'all nothing but game. I ain't talking about no mentorship, but it's coming. All right. Where we at? So back to the capital. So this depends on what model. So you got the B2C, which is you renting your boats out to others. They can rent it. They can take it by themselves and go out and drive without a captain. And then you have the model to where you provide the captain, and you either can staff it or you can. When I say staff, meaning they work directly for you, or you can 1099 it and you can allow freelance captains to come out and take the boats out for you. Then you have the B2B. B2B is business to business. That simply means, like, so for example, every season, at least once a month, we have some sort of corporation that comes out on our boat, and they're doing different activities on a professional level with staff. All right. And that only came about because I was creative. I was trying to figure out another way how I can bring the professional settings out onto the water. Right. So for those of you that don't know, normally when I'm going out and I'm networking, I'm talking, I'm shopping or whatever, or I'm entering different professional establishments, whether it be a dental office, whether it be an attorney's office, Eat Health. I've even gone to the judge's chambers and offered my services. So that B2B is simply Shad went out networking, letting I don't know, John, how you doing? I'm Shad from Shad's Miracle Boat and Jet Ski Rental. I own the largest boat and jet ski rental here in DC. I see that you have a dental office here, and this quick question for you, like, how's the morale here in your company, right? I throw a lot of people off by asking them what the morale is within their company, but a lot of CEOs don't realize that the morale within that company is what pushes and help your business scale, right? So for example, my staff are I ain't about to read into that. So my staff, because they're working, they're able to I'm able to work on the business and not in the business. All right, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Put some fire in there. Hey, Lois, I ain't even gonna entertain you, my guy, but you don't even seem like a real person. I ain't even gonna entertain you, my guy. Keep it moving. Damn, you just threw me off. I hate fucking people like you. Damn, he just threw me off. What was I saying? Oh, so because I have great staff around, I'm able to work on my business and not in my business, right? So that allowed me to go out and network, and I was just putting it in different CEOs or different managers' head about coming out and bringing their staff on the water to do like team building, right? And that actually it took off. And a lot of these different companies started to talk to other professionals. So, for example, we had a gentleman that I met who worked at the mayor's office, and so he brought his team from the mayor's office, and they came out on the water. And then he had a friend of his who was an attorney, and then it just started to like this. They flooded me, right? So just keep that in mind too. So for those of you who say, "Look, Shad, I'm not interested in going out and making this a full-blown business. I'm only looking to, generate, $4,000-5,000 a month," then that B2B model just may be for you. All right. Next question. But he's telling you now, take notes and shut the file. Appreciate it. All right, come on with the questions, y'all. Y'all just give me some questions. Give me some questions. Give me some questions. Better to start with jet skis or your pontoon boat. That depends on you. So I have a model to where you can make $7,000 a day when it comes down to your jet skis, but you need multiple jet skis. So to answer your question, whether or not you should go with the pontoon or the jet skis, it simply depends on you. All right. If you have the capital, one, and then two, if you have the staff, if you're just looking to kind of get into the industry, your first year and learn the business, then I would say go with the pontoon. But then it also depends on what market you're in as to whether or not you should do the pontoon or the jet skis first. And what I mean by that is simply here in DC, I'm renting my boats out for $400 or more per hour, right? Whereas in New York, you can't do that. Well, you can, but it's going to be a little hard to get that. Or if you're down in, I don't know, if you're down in Jacksonville, Florida, where they're renting out $150 an hour, then it's up to you. You see what I'm saying? Who asked that question? Lewis. So it just depends on the market, right? And you got to look at what's going to generate you more money. Is it going to make sense for me to spend $30,000 or $35,000 and get me 6 or 7 jet skis and rent them out for $150 per hour? Or does it make sense for me to go over here and spend $30,000 and get me a pontoon boat and only be able to rent it out for $150 an hour? All right. So on the right side with the jet skis, we got multiple jet skis that we can send out for several hours. Excuse me. That will outperform the boat. So it just really depends on the market that you're in. What kind of business to file this as when filing your LLC? So it just depends on, for those of you who didn't hear my question, her question was what kind of business to file this as when filing your LLC. So I was saying it earlier, it just depends on the requirements at your within your state. Some may require you to have a specific license in order to operate a boat or jet ski rental company, and some may just require you to have a general business license. So for me, here in DC, I just have a general business license, and I have a contract with the state that allows me to rent out my equipment. So it just depends on, again, the city and state that you're in on whether or not you need a specific license. What kind of, I read that one. What was the biggest lesson you learned? The biggest lesson that I've learned in with this took me across all of my business, not to take shortcuts. All right. That's my biggest lesson in within all of my businesses. All right. I used to just try to do everything the short way so that I can get to where I was trying to go at faster. I mean, I was driving around for years without my CDL, with my trucking company. Then I end up having to pay fines. With the boat business, I learned a big lesson by having the right insurance. When I first started, I had personal insurance and not commercial insurance. And then one day, well, two instances happened where I needed insurance, but I didn't have the proper insurance, so I couldn't use insurance. I had to come out of my pocket. One was one day I had a group of teenagers going to prom, and then they were going from one side of the river to the other side of the river. All right, they didn't show. They showed up like 3 hours late, right? And I was just trying to hurry up and get them to their dinner. So I was just trying to hurry up and get them to their dinner. So I ended up just hauling ass to the other side of the river. And while I was hauling ass, I don't know if I hit something under in the water, but I busted my bottom engine out, the lower engine. So for those of you that don't know, just put this in your notes. When it comes to out drives, all right, that means your engine that hangs on the back of the boat. All right, put that in your notes. There's two types of engines. Somebody put it in the chat for me. There are two types of engines. You have an inboard and then you have an outboard. All right, on these big boy yachts, you have an inboard and an outboard. All right, but I had busted out my lower end of the engine, and that alone cost me $5,600. But there was no claim that I can claim because I didn't have the proper insurance. All right, so ensure that you have the proper insurance when it comes down to the whole boat and jet ski rental industry. Gallagher Lake is an agency that you can reach out to get insurance. What's another one? You got Gallagher, Markel, Markel. Markel is another big, well-known industry go-to when it comes down to your insurance. All right. Do you have templates for sale that can be purchased for the back office? Yeah, absolutely. So its question was, do you have templates for sale that can be purchased for the back office contracts and SOPs? Absolutely. And that brings me to a good point. Then that's a great question. Ensure that you have SOPs, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you're going to be delegating the workout to other employees. All right. The last thing you want to do is have this nice business booming and running, and you don't have the proper staff in place. All right. Leo, what's up, baby? I ain't even realized you was up in here. What's going on? Hey, Leo, somebody just tried me, man. We ain't gonna shine light to him, but somebody just tried me and told me that he purchased my course and it was some garbage. Leo, tell them people in the comments that you paid me $20,000+ and you living great, man. Anyway, so SOPs, man, make sure that you have your SOPs in place, and that's simply so that your business can operate smoothly when you're not there. All right. So for those of you that don't know SOP, oh, thank you, John. Look, you beat me to it. I appreciate it, bro. Standard operating procedures. All right. So what does that mean? All right. That means that in the morning, before my guys allow any equipment out, they're going in and they're checking everything. So on a boat, you're checking to make sure your horn is working. You're checking to make sure that your nav lights are working. You're checking to make sure that you have flares. You're checking to make sure that you have a secondary type of sound. So, and the reason why you're having a secondary type of sound when you're on a boat is simply because your horn may go out. That's happened to me before, to where I needed to have that horn. I needed to have that whistle to help me get attention to someone else. All right. So, my guys know that we're checking all this. We're checking all of the fluids. So you're checking on your boat. You're checking to make sure that your oil is topped off. You're making sure that you have fuel, because the last thing you want to do is send a customer out without fuel. All right. So basically, that's what your SOP is. Your SOP is giving everything step by step. So instead of your staff or your managers or anybody having to call you and say, "Hey, Shad, how do I do this?" They can go directly to the SOP and they can see what they need to do. All right. What do we got? 2 types of engines, inboard, outboard. All right. How do rentals differ from ocean, bays, and rivers? All right, good question, Mo. The question was how do rentals differ from oceans, bays, and rivers? All right. And it's simply the equipment that you're renting. All right. So for example, here on DC, I'm on the river. I operate off of a river, therefore, I can operate a high powered vessel, and something that's like a little John boat or a dinghy, one of those small little fishing boats. All right. So the difference is this: the type of water that you're in. So for example, I wouldn't be able to go and operate a Sea-Doo Switch. I'm sorry, not Sea-Doo Switch. I'm thinking a Sea-Doo jet ski, a Sea-Doo Spark. Damn. A Sea-Doo Spark. I wouldn't be able to go and operate that safely in the ocean. All right. Simply because in the ocean you have these big old waves, and if you have somebody who don't know how to operate that thing properly, they tapping out. They gonna capsize. They gonna fall, probably drowning some more stuff. So the answer to your question is simply it just depends on the water that you're in. I mean, the water that you're in, so that you have the proper equipment. Does that make sense? Mo, just let me know in the comments if I answered that for you. Can I rent out my jet ski on the river? Yes, you can rent out on the river. Just make sure that you have it's a not a big body of water, but it's deep enough. All right, because with the jet skis, remember they start off like this, but then when you hit the accelerator, it tends to lift up to where your prop is down. It dips down in the back, and if you're in a shallow body of water, whatever is right there is going to get into that prop, and then you're going to mess up the impeller and all that good stuff, and then you don't damage the rear end of your jet ski. All right. What up, though, from Detroit? Would you suggest building out a website now to book early bird specials? Which of your programs is best if I'm looking at pontoons for parties and events? Elvin, great question. You should always be marketing. All right, somebody put that in the comments for me. Put that in the comments. That is a great question. That is something that I had to remind myself of this season, during the off season. All right. This is something that I had to remind myself of on during the off season. All right. And it woke me up to it because I started to pay attention to all of the different emails that I was receiving from different companies. So I realized, like with Saks Fifth, those guys were sending me an email every day, right? You should always be marketing, guys, especially during the big season. So during Christmas, during Black Friday, during Thanksgiving, the same way you see these other big companies promoting, you should be promoting as well. It does not matter that your company is seasonal. All right, you should always be promoting for the next season. So, Elvin, to answer your question, yes, you should be setting up your website right now. In fact, if you go in shoot me a DM and I'll send you the platform that I use. It's called Checkfront. They're out of Canada, but I've been utilizing them for the last 5 years. But it's a great CRM because you can do everything in one location. So you can accept your bookings, you can get your waivers signed. Excuse me, your financial reports are there. Everything is in one spot. So shoot me a DM. Excuse me, and I'll send you the link. And in reference to your question about the course, I don't know exactly what date I'll be doing another mentorship, but it will be soon. It will be in February. I'll be starting another class in February. But with that being said, I will tell you guys, I'm not going to be dealing with any and everybody. Okay, y'all see what's going on in the industry right now. I'm not doing this for the money. I genuinely want to see everybody be successful and do it the right way. I want to give you my mistakes, and hence why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. But next year or this upcoming season, when I do a mentorship, it's not going to be the way I used to operate when I got 30 and 40 people in a classroom. I really wanted to take 5 or 10 people to the next level this upcoming season. And the boat season is here, y'all. All right. March is when here on the East Coast, March through September, October is the boat season. All right, so you literally have a couple of months, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, because um, I realized and I woke up like, yo, the season is here. It's a couple of months away, and so even some of the things that I'm teaching you all, I have to implement myself, right? So I'm gonna give y'all another play. Elvin, this is for you. So on top of you um, setting up your website and starting to push out your marketing through the website, you also need to be beating your feet. All right. A lot of people have gotten spoiled when it comes down to this whole marketing thing. What I mean by they have gotten spoiled is simply because they don't want to go out and do any of the hard work. I know for me, we hit them every way possible. We got signs on cars. We walking up in the hotels. We going into the apartment buildings. We going into these professional settings. We telling our friends to talk about it. Like we marketing at every direction, every way that you can think of. You need to be doing it. You need to be doing yard signs. You need to be having your stuff on the highways, on billboards. You need to be having that goddamn plane riding in the sky with that sign saying that you got boats and jet skis for rental. All right. When it comes down to the marketing, y'all, there is no budget. All right. That's one thing that I learned when it comes to marketing. You have to attack it at every angle possible. But with that being said, don't do everything at one time until you find out what works out. And what do I mean by that? When I took my own advice last year, I didn't do social media ads, banner on the highway, and let's flyers. I didn't do all that at once because I wanted to know what worked. All right. The marketing, there is no budget, but you want to make sure that your budget is going to the right form of marketing. All right. Because social media may or may not work for your business. All right. So let's find out what's actually working. So now is a good time, Elvin, that you can be putting all this stuff into place. All right. Now is the time to begin this stuff into place. Where we at? 20K on the course, and I got to spend one-on-one training with the boat go. It was worth it. I'm all up. All right. Thank you, Leo, because I don't know who that cat was. I don't even know. I don't recognize the name, and I pay attention to everybody that purchased from me. Can you get a gas card for fuel? Absolutely. Alex coming with the good questions. His question was, can you get a gas card for fuel? Absolutely. Great point. All right. You want to ensure that you have a business gas card simply because you want to be able to keep your guys going when it comes to putting fuel in your equipment. So for my guys, they have a book. In that book, they have a log. In that log, you have a clear divider, and inside of there, they put their receipts, and you can put the business credit card. So again, you don't have to come out of your pocket. All right. We're utilizing the credit card for all of our overhead, in fact. So for our deposits, for our security, our insurance, for our jet skis and boats, we're using credit cards. We're not using no money out of our pocket. All right. So the first thing is first for any of you that's thinking about getting into the industry is making sure that your credit is right. All right. I realize that, and that's kind of why I say what I said earlier about me not working with everybody. Over the last 2 years, it was just so many people coming left and right that I didn't really have time to sit down and say, yo, are you doing this the right way? And respectfully and keeping it all the way transparent with you guys, I quickly realized, damn, Shaw, you got a lot of people that's buying your course, but they're not implementing because you didn't find out whether or not their credit was good. You didn't find out whether or not they had the capital to even get into the industry. And again, I don't do what I do for the money because I don't need the money from these courses and mentorship. So I got to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence and ensuring that you are prepared and set up for getting into the industry, because you can easily get into it, but if anything goes wrong and you need money, what you gonna do? So if you go out and you go buy a used boat and you turn around and you got to put another 15,000 into the boat because you didn't go, and I'm about to drop a whole gem, so yeah, I better go ahead and put this in your notes. Now you out of money and you don't lost things because you didn't take your mechanic with you to check that engine out to ensure that you had a good engine, and you didn't get that surveyor to come out and touch every inch of that boat. All right, put that in your notes, y'all. That is very important when it comes down to purchasing used equipment, used boats or jet skis. Not so much with the jet ski needing both. You should just need a jet ski mechanic. But when it comes down to purchasing used boats, you have to make sure, it is very important that you make sure that you have a surveyor that comes out, and you have a surveyor that comes out, and you have a mechanic that comes out. Okay, it's very important. The mechanic is only there to check that engine. All right, that is it. That's all they're gonna do. Your surveyor, he or she, they're gonna go through every inch of the boat, and what they're giving you at the end of their inspection is a report, and that report should be pretty nice. That's from all the good stuff to all the bad stuff, and that's going to help you make your decision. Now, don't have the mindset that I had. All right, about 3-4 years ago, my mindset was, well, hell, if I'm about to pay this guy $2,000, what if I don't want the damn boat, right? And then I had to quickly realize, all right, it makes sense for me to pay this $2,000 because he's going to tell me whether or not this is a good boat or not. He's going to tell me every single thing about this boat, good and bad, which means I know when I walk away from here, if I take it, what I have. Versus on the other side, if you don't pay that $2,000 and you get that boat all the way back, like for example, the yacht that I bought in South Carolina, if I didn't get a survey on it, I would have gotten that boat shipped all the way to DC just for it to get here and find out that something's wrong with it. And now I got to spend $20,000, right? So don't have the mindset of I don't want to pay this money up front because I don't know if I'm going to get it. Pay that money so that you know what you have. How many and what type of jet skis to start out with? Should I get 2-seaters or 3-seaters? All right. So his question was, what type of jet skis should he purchase? All right. I don't have any affiliation with Sea-Doo whatsoever. However, I'm always 100% a Sea-Doo guy, and I rock with Sea-Doo 100% because of their inlet cooling system. All right, somebody type it in. Matter of fact, let me put it in here because you probably didn't understand what I said. Inlet cooling system. All right, so the inlet cooling system is the same type of system that we have in our vehicles. All right, it keeps the engine cool. Versus with Yamaha and Kawasaki, not only are you spending more money with those manufacturers, but their systems, that you keep your engine cool by the water, the body of water that you're on, which means if you do what I did, because I was ignorant to the industry and ignorant to properly caring for jet skis, when I was done at the end of the season with my Yamaha, I just tucked it in the garage and was done with it. I didn't know anything about winterization. So that's just kind of my reasoning as to why I gear towards the Sea-Doo. They're cheaper, and the inlet cooler system that they have. All right, scenario. You have 10K. You are starting from the beginning. Your market is Maryland. What are you buying as far as equipment, marketing, and business LLC? What to do or not to do? Damn, John, that was a lot. 10K, I'm going to go and get me some jet skis because with 10K, you can find a couple of used jet skis. But here's the thing when it comes down to the jet skis, y'all. Ensure that, well, let me not say ensure because you can do what you want. But I don't recommend allowing customers to go out by themselves. I always recommend having a guide. Now, there are several business model where there are two different business models when it comes down to jet skis. One model is you actually start a full-blown jet ski rental company to where you staff it, you have guides to take people out, and the flip side to it is you can have people come just like with Toro. They can pick it up, or you can meet them at the water. They go out by themselves and they do their thing. I don't recommend that simply because we spent a lot of money with this equipment and we want to protect that. So if I'm allowing a customer to go out by themselves, there's a huge possibility that they may wreck it, right? You still have that possibility when you have guides out, but it's very slim to none because you have employees that are actually out there observing and watching what the customers are doing. Now, I say that to say this because I told this to two of my mentees that are operating out in California. And it's not that they didn't listen to me. It was simply because they moved too fast. Before they got into my program, they had already purchased the equipment. But they bought 2 jet skis, and they were meeting customers out at the water. And they both of them the same, 2 different companies, 2 different areas. They both in California, but the same damn scenario happened. So Danielle, she let the customers go out by themselves. It was 2 jet skis, husband on one, wife on the other. The wife, she flipped off, capsized it. When I say capsized it, that means that she flipped it over onto the seat, and then that joint started to take on water, and it started to sink. Police happen to be pulling up right there. They end up saving the jet ski. However, because they were out in the middle of the water, Danielle or anyone from her company couldn't see what the hell was going on. Therefore, guess what happened? They lost it, right? So the police took it back to the precinct. Danielle had to pay for her jet ski to get out of the impound, and she had to pay a fine because she didn't listen to her mentor, and she ain't had the proper documentation in place. She just went and bought jet skis and put them out on the water. That is a huge no-no, y'all. All right, if you don't take anything else that I say tonight away from this, ensure that you are properly and legally running. All right, do not go out there taking a shortcut and half-assing this, because it's not that type of business. When it comes down to this water, it is very important that you operate knowing and understanding that every single day I am in charge of someone's life. Put that in the chat for me. Every single day I am in charge of someone else's life. All right. If somebody died on your clock, I promise you, you won't sleep well at night. All right. And then the same thing happened with damn, I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name right now. But my other mentee, the same thing happened. He went out and flipped it, and instead of him, he seen it. He ended up jumping into the water and having to swim back with the jet ski because they left it. But what happened was, it took on water just like the other, like Danielle's did. But he was able to get it back. But when he got it on the trailer, it was full of water. When you allow water and oil to mix, y'all, you cannot run that system like that. It will shut your system down. That water will damage that engine internally. All right. So if any of you already own and operate jet skis, and you come across this issue, ensure that you get that jet ski off of the water ASAP. Turn it off ASAP, get it off of the water, and drain that water out of it. If you happen to get water inside of the dipstick, all right, because with the oil on the Sea-Doos, it's not like a car where you got a drain plug. All right, you actually have to suck the oil out. And in order to suck it out, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this oil change by yourself, but I'm gonna tell you how. Especially if you shouldn't be doing it if you're still under warranty. All right. That's a good point that I'm about to make here. If your equipment is still under warranty, ensure that you do no work to it, because if for whatever reason you have to do a warranty claim and they're not able to see any service documentation, they're not going to cover it. All right. So if you're still under warranty, make sure that you take your equipment to the shop and let them do it. Now back to the oil change. Oil, you just turn it on, heating it up, and then extracting it. All right. So if you have that situation, you got to hurry up and extract it out, and go to Harbor Freight, go on Amazon or something like that, and get an oil extractor, because you can't let that water sit in it. And then here's the thing, you got to do it multiple times. So when you extract the oil out, you got to put oil back in there. You got to run the engine a little bit so it can warm up, get hot, go through the system, pull that water out with it, and then extract it again. And you probably gonna do it for like an hour or two. We've had to do it a couple of times because I ain't know what the hell I was doing, but I know now. But anyway, he ended up having to pay the shop like $1,200, and that was ridiculous. But it is what it is. All right, so lesson in that: ensure that you have multiple jet skis out. I mean, when you have multiple jet skis out, or you can have one. Ensure that you have an employee and guide with you. So if you can only afford 2 jet skis, guess what? You can only rent out one at a time. All right. What's a good place to get equipment from? What's a good place to get equipment from? Again, just go and utilize the online platform. So just go to Google and type in boat or jet ski for sale. You can go to Facebook Market. You can go to boattrader.com. You can go boatsforsale.com. There's multiple places. I would just ensure, again, me personally, y'all, when it comes down to the jet skis, I like to turn my equipment over every single year. Here's a gem. I'm gonna give you this and put it in your notes. You can get your equipment sold by the end of the season every season simply by going into Facebook Market, Craigslist, whatever you want to use. I don't really recommend Craigslist, but some of you may or may not still use it. I don't recommend it. But when I buy new equipment, I will put a solicitation out there saying, hey, I am a jet ski rental company. I have brand new jet skis. However, I'll be selling them at the end of the year. You can put down a $500 to $1,000 non-refundable security deposit, and you can purchase it when we're done at the end of the season. That helps you gain that capital that you need for the next season. But also, the main reason why I do that is because I like for all of my equipment to be under warranty. All right. Jet skis only stay under warranty for 1 year. Your boats are 5 to 10 years. So that's my only reason for that. All right. Many of the marinas don't allow commercial activity. What's the best way to find, or how do we find marinas that allow commercial use of the docks? Elvin, I can't really answer that per se. And I've never want to tell you to do some illegal stuff or wrong stuff, but that's the same thing for me here in DC. However, I understand the importance of building a relationship and how building relationships can get you in certain rooms and get certain things done. So although the marina was saying, hey, Shad, you can't operate here because this is government owned and they don't allow commercial operation, I was taking care of the staff at the marina. I was always making sure they were good, bringing Gatorade, buying them lunch. Like I was building a good rapport, and it wasn't because I was trying to, get them on. I wasn't trying to get on their good side. That's just who I am in general. But I knew that our relationship would allow me to bypass the not being able to operate in it, and it actually has. But what I will say is operate quietly. If you're at a marina that don't allow commercial use, operate quietly, or find an alternative place to pick them up. So if your marina say, hey, you can't bring nobody here, all right, cool. I'm gonna park my boat here, but I'm gonna meet my customers over at the boat ramp that's free. You just got to get creative when it comes down to that. Don't let that be your reason why you don't get into the industry, bro. Do not let that be the reason you do not get into the industry. Figure it out. Do you recommend following them around? Yes. All right, Lewis. So when it comes to guiding the jet skis, me personally, whenever I travel, I try to go out on the water because I like to I just like to be able to take the good and the bad from other companies. Some of the things that I've been able to implement within my businesses are simply because I visited another location and took away whatever they had. So for me, I didn't like going to different locations to where they you had to follow them in a line. I hated that because I knew how to ride a jet ski. So with us, the only time that they are following us right behind each other is simply when we're going out of the channel and when we're going in the channel. Okay. Outside of that, we simply just tell our customers to ensure that we can see. I mean, that they can see us, because if they can see us, we can see them. All right. That's it. That's all. Just make sure that you have eyes on the customers at all times, and make sure that you're very stern and you help your customers understand the importance of listening to the rules and regulations. All right. So you have to set boundaries when it comes to where they can operate at. All right. And as you know, they shouldn't be anywhere near the shallow end of the water, because then you're messing up your equipment. All right. We rented some this summer and someone crashed one. Lesson learned. Damn, bro. But I'm glad you learned your lesson. Do you have a service where we submit is this a good purchase review? I don't, but his question was, do you have a service where we can submit is this a good purchase review? That's something that we're working on the back end. We're still putting the programs together. Yeah, like I said, I am coming out with another mentorship. But I'm going at it at another angle. Because I want to ensure that, one, I'm giving everyone my undivided attention, and not just those who purchase my 30K or 30K program. I want to be able to be hands on with all of my mentees in the 2024 season. Meaning, I want to come out and fly out to your location and go to work with you. So it's soon come. Soon to come. All right, y'all. I'm gonna take one more question. What up, bro? I'm gonna take one more question. I'm gonna get up out of here because I'm actually upstairs cooking. I hope I ain't burn my damn food. If you got some good gems tonight, man, let's drop some fire in the chat. Drop some diamonds. Drop some money bags. Do something. Let me know that you appreciate this good old hour that I just gave y'all, man. I think I'm gonna do this once a month, man. My man said, I'm coming for that mentorship 2024. I look forward to working with you, bro. I promise you, man. I'm excited about my upcoming program. I'm excited because, again, I'm going to work with y'all. I'm not just going to give you the information and let you go do it. All right. I never did that. I always gave the information and over delivered and checked up on my I keep saying employees, my mentees. But it was so damn many of them that there was no way in hell I can give every one of my undivided attention. That's why I said I'm only going to take 5 to 10 this upcoming 2024 season. But continue to tap in, y'all. If you haven't followed me if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. Once we're done, I don't know if there is even a place on here because, again, it's my first time going live on YouTube. But if there is a link or button that you can answer, that you can press, just go ahead and push it. If you've been following me for the last, I'm gonna say, month or so, you can kind of see that I'm doing a whole lot of things. So just so you guys know and understand what I'm working on, I'm doing TV shows. I got the cooking show that I'm doing with my daughter. I got the podcast that I just dropped. I got a lot going on, so don't be confused and don't get a little frustrated because you see the boat go dropping food shows on his Instagram, or I'm talking about something personal. Just follow the journey. I got a lot going on. I was afraid that I was going to lose people because people know me for the boat rental industry, but just talking to my advisor every day and talking with my team. I want to give y'all all of me in 2024, not just for the boats and the jet skis, because a lot of people didn't know I do government contracting. They went crazy when they see me post that $1.7 million government contract. But I've been in government contracting for quite some time now. But I just learned to stay within my niche and in my lane and only talk about that. But with that being said, the Talking Personal podcast is my baby right now. You guys are going to be able to learn so much about me. You're going to be able to learn so much about everything that's going on, right? Because my goal here in 2024 is to ensure that everybody that come across me understand and get that real motivation and inspiration from somebody who really came from the ground and made it out. Because we got a lot of motherfuckers on social media scamming nowadays. I don't agree with it. I hate it. That's kind of sort of why you haven't seen me on the scene, because I can no longer associate myself with certain individuals that I know fucking people over. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take one more question, and then I got to get up out of here. Alex already took care of it. Listen, guys, if you haven't already, y'all make sure y'all tap in with Alex to connect, man. If your credit is jacked up, he has a great program. I'm personally using him myself for people in my circle, because I understand. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Matter of fact, this is what I'm gonna do, Mo. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. There's no more questions. I'm gonna take the last question. How can I be successful in 2024? I don't have any money, but I want to be successful. In 2024, y'all, you got to get focused, all right? Get focused. And I'm not just talking, I'm telling you something that I'm doing myself. Even someone with money, I had to understand the importance of being consistent and just doing it, all right? So over the last few weeks, I've actually been implementing that. Every single day I've been up getting to it in some shape or form of me being able to reach my goal. And my goal, I need at a minimum 20 million this year. That's the bare minimum I need. All right. So if you don't have any money and you want to be successful, we got to fix that credit, y'all. All right. I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear it, don't want to talk about it. Some of y'all probably even over your doggone credit score. You got to get your credit right, y'all. That is how some of these other people are able to reach certain levels, because they know how to utilize the banks, right? So ensure that you fix your credit and stay locked in with whatever it is that you want to do. Don't be all over the place. I know there's a lot of people on social media with some great information right now, but you can't be all over the place. Get into one lane, learn it, get yourself a mentor, do your research, baby it, do what you got to do with it, and then delegate it out. All right, but don't try to be all over. Don't be trying to get into the jet skis and then over here in the trucking company and over here I'm starting my credit repair company. You can't do that. You got to stay focused and you got to give it all that you have, y'all. All right, you got to give it all that you have. You don't have no money, you broke. Ask yourself, what are you willing to do in order not to be in your situation? Meaning, if that means that you have to get up early before going to another shift, go do it. If you got to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning before you go and work at Walmart as a stalker at night, get your ass up and go work. Right? Me as a teenager in high school, I literally was going to school full-time and working a full-time job. All right. So if I can do it as a kid, then you can do it as an adult. If you're really trying to get to the bag in 2024, you got to lock in, y'all. So that means the unnecessary spending, right? If you know that you're spending money in places that you don't necessarily need, we got to cut the spending habits out. All right. We got to lock into what's really feeding us. So that means if you're not following someone that is giving you education, unfollow them. All right. The funny videos is cool or whatever, but if it's not going to get you to the next level, we got to unfollow each other. And I'm going to leave you with this, and then I'm going to go. Find yourself an accountability partner. All right. Find yourself an accountability partner. That accountability partner can be a friend. It can be your significant other. It can even be your kid. All right. Me personally, my girl, my accountability partner. My brother is my accountability partner. My daughter is my accountability partner. And my cousin is my accountability partner. I got 4 of them. Right. And I've told every single one of them, if I'm bullshitting, let me know. Right. And so with the weight, right? My cousin, I love to have my little snacks. And for me, it's like, yo, go run to the store for me. And because I have him, like, hell no, nope, we ain't doing it. There's been plenty, it's been a couple of times where he's like, nah, I'm not doing it. You told me hold you accountable. 2024 ain't none of that, right? So find yourself an accountability partner, man. I promise you it will work. And when you find that accountability partner, ensure that that person is holding you accountable. If you say, all right, in 2024, I'm no longer going to be following these models that's just showing ass and titties all day long. I'm no longer going to be following, such and such that's not really feeding me. I'm going to unfollow. All right, well, do that. If you say you're not going to be scrolling, do that. When you come past some bullshit, all right, gotta go unfollow them. All right. So I'm gonna let y'all go, man. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm just looking at the clock. I got 24 seconds, 20 seconds. Again, continue to stay locked in, man. I look forward to working with some of you this upcoming season, man. But 2024 is year of focus and change, man. So get to it. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see y'all soon.